Hey everyone, it's Christy from Christy's Beautiful Life here for Lift and Sketch with Christy and Rachel, and here is the fun sketch that we're working with this month. We are flipping things around and doing the sketch first. I'm going to go ahead and use my Aubrey Lane, I never know, is it Aubrey? Auburn? I don't know. The pink paisley line. And I'm going to create a layout about my daughter and the pumpkins. So if you watched my channel back on the 8th of this month and saw the one I did about my son, it was like a guest design for the day, showcasing some sequins for Jody from Squiggle Mom Scraps. And so I wanted to do something for my daughter as well, because she was also in that photo shoot with different ones. And I now have a layout for her album, a layout for my son's album, and back last year or earlier this year, I created one about both of them together and all of that. So now I have one for each of our albums, which I love. And I'm going to go ahead and play and use this beautiful paper line. I tried to use this line you'll see coming up later this month. It was the first time I ever touched it, and I struggled with how to use it, but this one came together a little bit easier. So I was excited about that. And I'm just trying to look to see which which papers are going to work best to back the photos. And I'm going to use this one, which is like a newspaper print, but it's got that gold foiling with, I think it's a rose gold too, foiling in the paper. And it just works perfectly. These photos have a little bit of a filter on them. Most of the time I use when you go into Instagram, it's the very second filter option you can use. I either use that one or the third one. And I can't ever remember what they're called, but those are the two that I use most often. And it either brightens up the photo and makes it really lively, or it softens it. So those are all I ever want. I either want it brighter or softer. And I do believe this is that second option from the Instagram. And I'm going to layer two photos. I'm not doing square Instagram photos like the sketch is recommending, but that's okay. That's the lovely thing about sketches. You don't have to follow it 100%. And I'm going to use the wood grain for that top piece up there. And then I'm debating about which pink I want to use, but I am going to choose that softer one. I wasn't sure how the other pink with the already put in rose gold foiling to it was going to look with my photos, and I was afraid it might be a little too much. So I decided to go with the more softer look, and I really love it. I think it worked really well. In her little jammy, she's got a gray onesie with some pink kind of around it, and I actually think they're winter jammies, to be honest with you, but that doesn't matter. It just really worked. The colors kind of worked and popped off with her jammies, and then the yellow kind of helps bring out the orange and the pumpkins, but yet not like too much. So I really loved everything in the way it was kind of flowing together. It works perfectly. I am going to go ahead, and once I get it all figured out and where I want it to be, I'm going to stitch every single piece of paper there in a pink thread so that it's just got a little bit of texture to it basically. And I like doing those little touches like that. Sometimes other people don't even notice it, but it just adds that slight little added texture. And I just think it's perfect. That's always the perfect thing for me. And lately I have been stitching like crazy on my layouts. So you won't notice it on the pink, obviously, because I'm using a soft pink, but then on all the other ones, you do notice it, and it just worked perfectly. For the circle, I just went ahead and went to my kitchen and grabbed a bowl, created my little circle. I'm going to stitch in white. Again, the subtle look, I don't want anything to be too overpowering. I only do one circle. I don't like trace it, overlap it, or anything like that. It's just one little basic circle. I was debating if I was going to use a different color, but I'm going to go ahead and choose the white. So I went off camera to do that because you don't want to watch me stitch. It's boring. And now I'm just going to glue everything down. Some stuff got put up with some fun foam for some added layers and texture. Basically, the wood grain paper on the top has one, so I had to put the fun foam on the bottom of my photos for the pink part that didn't. And then that bottom photo at the bottom, I just flipped it. So the pink pattern paper on the base of it already had fun foam on it, so I just added it to the very top of that photo. And now I'm going to play around with where I want my title to go. In the sketch, it's saying it should go right there. I didn't like that. It wasn't working for me. So I'm actually going to go ahead and use the circle to my advantage and just place the title around my circle. You're going to see me do that. I'm trying to use up some thickers I have these gold ones that I almost can't spell anything with it anymore. I'm using a U for the N and a W for the M, and it's just, I'm almost done with them, but I love them. They're so pretty. and they work perfectly. So for now, I'm going to place that down at the bottom. You are going to see that does get changed there. And then my embellishing, I had this little pumpkin I've kind of had just sitting there waiting to be used. And I really wanted to use it because it's a softer orange, and I feel like it's going to work really well with this layout because of the soft feeling it has. So I'm thinking about where I want it to go. I'm going to pull in some embellishments, kind of play around, think about what I want. I pull that house, that pink house, and try that. I like it where I place it, so I'm placing it right by that bottom photo. I like that, but I couldn't figure out what else to do from there. And I didn't know. I didn't want to use these florals yet. I'm kind of hoarding them, waiting to create like the perfect layout with all of them. So I put those aside, I put the rub-ons aside, and I just pull out the ephemera. I kind of go through it, and then I was getting a little stuck. So I went off camera, I went through every single piece, I pulled the pieces I think are actually going to work, and then you're going to see me come back and finish it all up by doing little things and wrapping up the layout with it. While you watch me do that part, make sure you head on over and check out Rachel's take for this sketch. It was a fun one. I believe I picked the sketch this month. So Rachel picked the scrap lift and I picked the sketch. So next month it will be switched up, and it's just fun. And you can see I'm playing with those houses again. I really wanted houses on this layout, apparently. So the pumpkin's going to go down at the up at the top there to kind of just make a little place there. I moved the word pumpkin up to the top of the circle. I like that a lot better. It's kind of a little bit more fluid that way. I added one of the stickers from the sticker sheet to the bottom. That's where I'm going to host my journaling. And then added little texture to my top photos by a corner piece to each side, a little frame, a heart, and a tab. And that wraps up this fun layout. I had so much fun creating it. I am thinking about going back and adding a few rub-ons and some sequins. So when you head on over to my Instagram, you'll see if I did that or not. Sometimes I say I do stuff and I don't. So Instagram's always the way to tell if I finish it. There's a look at the sketch one more time and my finished take with it. I'll be back, I believe it's the 20th or 27th, whatever Saturday that is, for our layout version. Thanks everyone. Bye.